All right, guys, I'm going to give a quick update on the car. As you can see right now, it's quote up in the air. Got my boy Danny working on it, working hard. So it's been a little bit since I've posted. Just kind of want to give y'all an update on kind of what's been going on. So obviously we ran into a few issues, would you say, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, just a few, man.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just race car things.
Race car life, man.
Exactly. So, first things first, we had a problem with the fuel system where we ran into an issue where I guess someone had shortened the fuel line in the fuel tank. How would you summarize what happened with the fuel system?
Someone got in there. They forgot to put a tube on the other side for the saddle tank. So instead of running both sides, you're just running one side of tank. So you only had 7 gallons instead of like the 14 gallons you should have. So that drastically cut down your mileage and caused you to run out of gas.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And
Especially this thing likes to drink.
it does. That's a race car. And so we noticed this issue. I mean, obviously because the car had a service fuel system light on and at one point wasn't starting because I guess it was out of fuel, but the car was showing that it had fuel. So per the original build, the car wasn't really built like that originally. So someone had gotten into there and had changed some stuff up. So obviously I had to make it right. And making things right often costs a lot of money. Especially on a race car. So we ended up over the course of like what, a couple months?
Yeah.
Couple months putting a whole new fuel system in the car. So that's new pumps, an Aeromotive A1000 fuel kit, mover from dash 6 lines to dash 10 lines.
All the flow.
All the flow. So bigger lines, whole new fuel system, everything's working properly. They had to kind of put the fuel system together because it didn't originally come like that. So they had to, innovate this fuel system, which I'm very grateful for. So we figured that out, and then we kept having the service fuel system light come on. So we were like, okay, well, we know that everything as far as the mechanical side goes is good. So are we dealing with an electronic issue or what are we dealing with? So we had to do some problem solving in that area. So we thought, we had to adjust the tables on the car. You have to go into HP Tuners to figure out what the table as far as the fuel level goes. There's a table that you have to fill in. And so we kind of played around with that for a little bit, just trying to get that all set right. And was still having the service fuel system light coming on. So the plan was for me to fill up the tank. And for those of you that don't know, in order to calculate your proper fuel mileage and to fill the table in, there's some math that you have to do. So the easy way to put it is fill up the tank, drive the car for X amount of miles, and then you fill your tank up again, and then you do the division as far as that goes. So anyway, you have to do the simple division as far as that goes, and then use the math to plug the tables in to get the car to understand, the parameters that it's supposed to be in, under load and, just casual driving. So while we were in the process of trying to figure that out, I was having loud belt squeal And so I was like, okay, well, we're gonna have to figure out that issue. So long story short, we figured it out. I had Danny look underneath the hood while I tried to replicate the issue. And as he was looking underneath the hood, this is usually where my alternator goes. So while he's looking underneath the hood, the belt that connects to the alternator and the balancer that's down there, I don't know if you can see it, it's right there. It completely stopped turning while the car was still on. So obviously that's a big problem if the belt stops moving and the car is still running. So we figured, okay, well, we finally figured out what that issue is. So we're thinking it's a pulley, you know, maybe we need to get the belt changed, you know, something small like that. So, you know, that was awesome. We're like, okay, great, we figured that issue out. And mind you, it took a while for the service fuel system light to turn off, because before, as we've been dialing in the tables, it would take longer and longer for the fuel light to click. So we were like, okay, well, we're getting closer and closer to the parameters, but we still had this belt squeal. So we figured out what the belt squeal was. And as we did some digging, we found out that this Innovators West harmonic balancer is smooth on the backside. I don't know if the camera will focus, but you can kind of see where it's shiny right there. You can kind of see where it's shiny, and it looks like it's gone through some crap, which it most certainly had. So it wasn't a pulley that we were dealing with, but the ribs on the back of that harmonic balancer somehow ate through that billet aluminum or whatever that material is, and made that back part of it smooth. So we can't figure out how or why that happened. I tried calling Innovators West to figure it out. I tried calling Vortec to figure it out. We tried brainstorming, and out of all of us, the companies and us, no one could figure out how that would have happened. But we know that that is where the issue is coming from. And so we're theorizing that the service fuel system light is probably related to this belt issue as well. So the hypothesis is that whenever the belt stops turning, the alternator stops moving, the voltage drops as the car does its systems check, which is every 4 to 5 minutes as far as the fuel gauge goes, to regulate that so that you can see how much fuel you have. The sensor's not receiving the correct amount of voltage, and so it kind of freaks out, and then the car doesn't know how much fuel it has, and it thinks it's a problem with the fuel system, and it just kind of says, okay, service fuel system, I don't know what's going on, you're gonna have to take a look at this. So we're having to replace this harmonic balancer or get it rebuilt. I'm still trying to figure out which one I want to do. And I've been doing some research into balancers. You know, of course, ATI is a very popular one, a very commonly used one. But this vehicle has an Innovators West, and it has been good thus far. You know, besides for this issue, which I don't know what happened, and I don't contribute that to the balancer itself. But we're going to try to figure out, you know, what kind of happened there. But first we're going to fix the problem. So in order to fix the problem, of course, we got to get down here and pull the rack and pinion and all that in order to get to the harmonic balancer and to remove that huge bolt, which anyone who works on Corvettes know that removing the rack and pinion and all that is fun. And for those who are having the job done, know that it's not the cheapest thing in the world. So the car needs to be fixed. I understand that it's going to cost a lot of money on top of the money I've already dropped on the car, but what am I going to do? Fix it or not fix it? That's the question, right? And of course I'm going to choose to fix it. because I've already poured quite a bit of money into the car. So that's what we're in the process of doing. Also, we are getting an oil analysis done to check on the health of the motor. So I sent that off last week sometime. So within the next week or so, I should be getting the results back just to make sure that everything is good as far as the motor goes. And the oil, for those of y'all that don't know, can tell you a lot as far as the health of the motor goes. So we're going to do that just to see if the motor is good, and if that comes back great, then awesome, we can proceed forward. We don't have to worry about any motor work being done, which I don't think we'll have to worry. I mean, the car only has 22,000 miles on it, and I really haven't, okay, I've driven it hard maybe a couple times, but I haven't really, really hammered on the car the way that I want to. So hopefully after all of this is done, I can upload another video, just kind of bringing y'all with me to my tuner that's out in Dallas. He's going to be the one that's going to be tuning the car, accounting for the new fuel system and the bigger lines and stuff like that. So we're going to get a proper tune after all of the mechanical things are done. So I know a lot of people have been waiting for this car to get done. I've been waiting for this car to get done. So I'm just, really crossing my fingers that this is the last kind of thing that we're gonna have to deal with mechanically, just little things, and we're thinking this is a pre-existing issue. So this is something that's been happening for a while and just decided to show itself now, which again, you get a race car, you drive it, these are the things that you have to deal with, general maintenance and sometimes complete overhauls. It's a part of it. So I'll try to keep y'all updated as time goes on. While we get the blower off, I am gonna have that shipped off to Vortec and have that rebuilt. So definitely looking forward to that. And having my alternator work properly, having belts work properly, gonna have all new belts on the car. So, and probably, if the oil analysis comes back a little rough, probably do an oil change, if it says that it needs to be done. So, because they can tell you how much oil life you have. So, anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here. So that's just an update on the car, kind of what's been going on. We've been trying to solve little issues, here and there with the car. Again, just part of race car life. So I'll see y'all on the next video. Also, the whole reason we started this whole thing is because of this right here. That damage is from a manhole cover. So I hope y'all can hear me over the sound of this pump. That happened, I hit a small manhole cover that happened to be propped up, and it went underneath the car, and that's what caused the service fuel system. That's where it all started. So really annoying, very unfortunate, but again, it is what it is. You just have to get the problem fixed. So, yep.
Artificial love, we just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Cause we already lost, addicted to the rush. I never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch of artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Cause we already lost, addicted to the rush. I never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch. Cause we already lost, addicted to the rush. I never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. How can you know what's in our mind when in between the good and bad there's such a thin line? How can you know what's in our heart when often hate motivates and love tears you apart? Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love.